Most companies don't have a marketing problem. They have a trust problem, specifically a trust problem between the CEO and the CMO. Today, we're talking about why CEOs don't trust CMOs, why CMOs feel set up to fail, and why both sides are actually right. So welcome to the Think Millions podcast. This is the show where we break down how real businesses actually scale. No hype, no theory, just what works.
Are you ready? Welcome to the Think Millions podcast, a channel where you get an unfiltered, raw, and authentic conversation about the challenges of being an entrepreneur and tips and tricks on how you can scale your business to the next level. If you are looking to scale your business, then you're in the right place. Introducing our host, Alexa D'Agostino.
Let me start with a stat that should make you feel uncomfortable. 80% of CEOs do not trust their CMOs. Not dislike, not frustration. They literally don't trust them. That single word, more than most people realize, should scare the living crap out of you if you are a CMO. Trust is the foundation of every decision a company makes. If you don't have that, you have nothing. Budgets, hiring, strategy, risk. When trust exists, leaders invest forward. When trust breaks, leaders pull back. And marketing is often where the pullback starts. Here's another stat that rarely gets mentioned alongside the first. Over 1/3 of Fortune 500 companies have eliminated the CMO position entirely. 1/3. That's insane. That doesn't happen because of one bad hire or because of one weak quarter. That happens when a role slowly loses credibility at the top. And that should make everybody pause because the instinctive reaction is to assign blame. CEOs blame marketing for being vague. CMOs blame leadership for being unrealistic. But the truth sits somewhere more uncomfortable because the CEO isn't wrong and the CMO isn't wrong either. The system they are both operating inside is outdated. And most companies are still running modern marketing through an old mental model. And that gap is where trust quietly dies. If you work in marketing, this probably feels uncomfortably accurate. Marketing today is relentless. It is hard. It is so much harder today than it was 10 years ago, even 5 years ago. There is always something to launch, something to optimize, something to fix. Emails, ads, content, social, events, landing page. The work never ends. And yet the expectation keeps rising. Budgets keep getting smaller and tighter. Timelines get shorter. So with AI and all this data you have, they want things tomorrow, not in a week. So you're expected to drive immediate results while also building long-term value. Sales wants better leads. Finance wants cost efficiency now. Leadership wants growth now, not tomorrow. At the same time, everybody agrees brand matters, trust matters, reputation matters. But those things do not move on command. They compound quietly over time. Here's the part most CMOs rarely say out loud. They're being evaluated on outcomes that no longer happen in a straight line. Buying behavior change. Decisions are no longer made by one person. They are made by groups. Research happens privately. Opinions form silently. By the time sales gets involved, most of the decisions have already been made by the marketing. That's because marketing is influencing the outcomes before it could be measured. But measurement still lives at the end of the funnel with the sales team. So marketing ends up doing two jobs at once, shaping perception early and justifying results late. That tension creates burnout and broken trust. Most marketing arguments are not about marketing at all. They're actually about fear of missed numbers, fear of wasted spend, fear of making the wrong bet. When marketing feels unclear, the business feels exposed. Every company runs on predictability. Payroll depends on it. Forecasting depends on it. Growth plans depend on it. Marketing is often the largest variable in that equation, and variables create anxiety. CEOs are not reacting emotionally, they're reacting structurally. Marketing used to be easier to understand, and that's crazy considering we have more data now. Leads came in early, sales cycles were shorter, attribution felt simple. Today, influence happens long before intent is visible. Marketing shapes preference before it shapes pipeline. So when leaders ask the question, what's the ROI of this campaign? They're not being unreasonable. They're asking the wrong question for the system they're in now today. Marketing is no longer transactional, it's directional. That disconnect is what is breaking the trust. The reason marketing feels broken has nothing to do with your CMO. Marketing did not suddenly stop working. The environment changed. Attention fragmented. Trust became harder to earn. Buying became complex. But most companies never updated how they think about their marketing role. They kept the old scoreboard. Marketing used to behave like a machine. Budget in, leads out. That model doesn't fit reality anymore. Today, marketing creates conditions. Conditions for trust, conditions for familiarity, conditions for preference. Those conditions influence revenue long before they show up in reports. That is why marketing feels invisible when it works well and suspicious when it does not. Most CEOs think marketing stopped working, but that's not the real problem because marketing still works. It just stopped being obvious. Brands matter more than ever. Reputation matters more than ever. Trust matters more than ever. Those forces shape buying decisions before anyone fills out a form, but they do not show up neatly in spreadsheets. So leaders assume something is broken. What is actually broken is how success is being defined. Marketing no longer creates demand on command. It creates momentum. It shortens sales cycle. It reduces resistance. It increases confidence. Those outcomes matter. They just require a different lens. Marketing did not fail. Your measurement model did. CEOs want certainty. Marketing delivers probability. That is not a flaw. It's reality. Buying is complex. Influence is subtle. Trust takes time. If you measure marketing the same way you did 5 years ago, even heck 2 years ago, you are already behind. The goal is not perfect attribution. The goal is better decisions. Better decisions on where to invest, what to reinforce, what to stop. When leaders and marketers align here, trust returns. And when trust returns, growth follows. So let's pull this all together. CEOs don't distrust marketing because they dislike marketing. They distrust marketing because the system they're using to judge it no longer fits how buying works today. CMOs are not failing because they're ineffective. They are struggling because they're being measured on outcomes that no longer happens in a straight line. Buying changed, attention changed, trust became harder to earn. But the expectation did not change with it. Marketing no longer creates demand on command. It creates conditions. And when those conditions are judged with the old models, good work looks invisible and trust erodes. The fix is alignment. CEOs learning how marketing actually works today. CMOs learning how to translate their work into business outcomes leadership care about. Pipeline quality, win rates, deal velocity. That is how trust comes back. And that is why relationship is not optional. It is a growth lever. If you enjoyed this, hit that follow button. Would love to hear your comments on this. So please go to my social, give me your comments on what you think about this. Are CEOs right or are CMOs right? I want to hear what you have to say. I want to hear what you think about this topic. And if you like this, hit that follow button, give me a 5-star review, and we will see you next week.
Thanks so much for tuning in to this episode of Think Millions podcast. If you're enjoying the show, please feel free to rate, subscribe, and leave a review wherever you listen to your podcasts. We really appreciate that effort, and we'll catch you in the next episode.